Hi everybody, welcome back to another Books and Looks video. Thank you so much if you are returning to watch another one. If you've seen any of my other videos, I appreciate you watching them so very much. If you are new here and this is the first video of mine you have seen, thanks for coming. My name is Jen and I love books and I love makeup, and so I started this channel to blend those two things together, and I do a little get ready with me, put my makeup on for the day while I talk about a book I have recently read. Today's book is excuse me, November 9 by Colleen Hoover, and I don't have a copy of it. I actually already gave it to somebody else to borrow, but I'll put right here what the cover of the book looks like. If you are familiar with Colleen Hoover books, she is hugely popular right now, and I read another one of her books called Verity. Have you heard of it? It was amazing. I have heard so many people talk about her books and say how amazing they are. And I gave Verity a try, loved it. And so I thought, November 9, somebody else recommended that one to me as well, among multiple titles. But I decided to read this one. I can't say I didn't like it, but I did abandon it. So this is my first abandoned book video. And yeah, I abandoned it. I got, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60 pages in. And it's supposed to be a mystery with this big surprising twist at the end, and I figured out what the twist was going to be pretty early on, and I actually went on Google to confirm I was right. I know, spoiler alert, but I did, and it turns out I was correct. I did figure out what the big twist was at the end. And the part that I did read, I felt like it was all just a romance book, and I was like, where's the mystery? Where's the the intrigue, the suspense, the thriller, any of that. I didn't really get any of that. It was all just romance. So I didn't like it. I don't like romance books. I like when there's romance in books, but I don't like when the whole book is just around the romance. But the book was about this girl. It's told between two characters' point of views, and it jumps back and forth. And of course, I don't remember the characters' names. I'm awful, and I don't have it with me to look it up. But it was a girl and a boy, and I think his name was Ben. I feel pretty confident that his name was Ben. And hers was something really unique that there's no way I'm going to remember on my own. But let's call her Tara. I can't remember what her name was. I'm going to call her Tara. I apologize. If you watch other videos of mine, you know I'm awful with names. I forget characters' names all the time. I'll be like reading the book currently, and I'll still be like, wait, what was that? What's that character's name? I have an issue remembering names, okay? But anyway, so we're going to call her Tara. Ben and Tara. So the exposition is that Tara is an aspiring actress. She had a job on a sitcom when she was like a tween and a early teenager, but her parents, who were divorced, she was living with her father at the time, and the house caught on fire, and she got very severely burned, like including on her face, her chest, her shoulder, and her arm, like burned all down her side. And so she ended up losing her job because like she was in the hospital for so long recovering, and then she's covered in scars, and she couldn't play the character anymore, so she lost her job. So fast forward, I don't remember, like 7 years, and she's like estranged from her father because it was at her father's house and he wasn't home. He was like off gallivanting. He is an actor as well, and he was like her manager, and he was off like partying or doing something. So that was why she ended up getting hurt. Like if dad had been home, she probably would have survived without injury. So anyway, so it's today, and she is no longer acting. She's doing just random jobs, and she has decided she is going to move and go to New York City to try to pursue Broadway, because you like your father away, I guess. I don't know, for whatever reason. And so she meets her dad at this restaurant, and they're talking about it, and he's like, all right, whatever, like, good luck. He's like kind of a dick to her. And it just so happens that there's this random stranger sitting at the next table, which turns out to be Ben. And he he's like overhearing their conversation and dad being a total jerk. And so he like decides to just step in and pretend like he's her boyfriend so that he can talk her up and compliment her and basically put dad in his place for being rude to her and telling her like, you're never gonna make it. Why would you even pursue this? Like, there's no way you're gonna make it on Broadway. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. So Ben's like, that's not how dad should act. And he's like, I'm just gonna like step in. He pretends to be the girlfriend. He's like, oh hey honey, I'm sorry I'm late. Like traffic, blah blah blah. And it does throw dad for a loop. And so dad's just like, okay, well, good luck in New York. I'll see you. And they only really ever see each other like once or twice a year. So she's just like, okay, bye. So she and Ben end up staying and they hit it off. But she's literally leaving for New York City early tomorrow morning. So they decide, like, we really like each other. Pardon me, we really like each other. And we feel like there's this spark here. So they do like this stereotypical romance thing where they're like, oh, we're gonna get together in this restaurant on this date, November 9, which also is the day of the fire. November 9, it's the anniversary of the fire as well. So it also happens to be the day she meets Ben. And so November 9 is like obviously an important date in her life. They decide they're gonna meet November 9th every year at this time in this restaurant to just, meet up again. And they're not going to talk to each other during this time. They're just going to live their lives. They're not going to pursue a long distance relationship, anything like that. So they do. And so every chapter or like every chunk is, 1st November 9th, 2nd November 9th, 3rd November 9th, so on and so forth. And I think it goes for like 7 years. I don't know. I don't remember because I didn't finish it. And every year they get together, and I think I made it to the 3rd November 9th before I quit. So they get together and like they really like each other, but the first time they get together, she goes to after they meet at the restaurant for lunch, she goes to his place to hang out and they like make out and have a good time, blah, 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 blah. He meets his 2 brothers. And he literally gets in a fist fight with his one brother, and the brother's about to get married, so she meets his soon-to-be sister-in-law, etc., etc. And they have a great time, and they're like, okay, see you next time. They're sad because they really like each other, and they give each other little projects to do because she like was only 18 or 19 or something, and he was like 19 or 20. And she had very few boyfriends because of her scars and her self-esteem issues and acting and blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I want you to go on at least 5 dates the first year. And then, this isn't just for me. Don't stay single for me. I want you to live your life. You need to go on at least 10 auditions and like 5 dates and like live your life. So she does what she can and they get together and blah, 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 blah. And, they give each other new tasks or whatever. So then they meet for the second time and basically the same thing. They talk. That's romantic. They missed each other. Like, he went out on a date with some girl, but nobody ever lives up to her. Like, he compares everybody to her, and she compares everybody to him, and nobody meets up to their standards. Blah 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 blah. Romance. Blah. Sorry, romance isn't my thing, and so I'm not enjoying it. Okay, at this point, I'm like, okay, I get it. Where is there even going to be a twist? Like, can we get like a little twist in here or something to keep the intrigue? Because I like mysteries. I like something suspenseful and action-packed, and I'm not seeing that. All I'm seeing is a freaking romance, and I don't care about 2 teenagers having a romance. That is not what I want to read about. So I'm not enjoying the story. I mean, it's cute. Like, if I was a teenager, maybe I would be like, oh, that's so cute. So, anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little... So they continue moving on, and I don't know what happens on each of these annual meetups, but I assume they go closer and closer. And in the meantime, Ben is a writer, okay? He is an author, and he said, I want to write about our relationship. Are you okay with that? And that's part of his assignment is he's supposed to write a novel based on their relationship and their love story. So when they get together, she's like, oh, how's your book coming along? And he's like, oh, it's coming along. But actually, he hasn't written anything. He also has self-esteem issues, and he hasn't been able to write because he doesn't feel like it's going to be good enough. And every time he does write something, he deletes it. And blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. It's really cliche, and it gets on my nerves. Like, maybe that's what she was going for because then that makes the twist at the end big. I don't know. But I recognized what the big twist was probably about 30 pages in, maybe a little more than that. It was shortly into the second November 9th. So they meet on year 1, and then a year later, they meet up again. And I figured out what the big twist was. And spoiler alert, here it comes. The big twist is that he is the reason her house caught on fire. Now, it was sort of an accident. Now, I did not figure out the reason, obviously, because I didn't read enough of this backstory and whatnot to really pick up on it, but it was already building. And I think if I had read more, I would have figured it out. So basically, his mom died a few years ago from cancer, I believe. And so you're just like, oh, that's sad. And he lives with his two brothers. Like, they have a house together. They live in their house together. So as it turns out, the big twist is that he started the fire because however many years ago, that was like 5 years ago or something, her father, the jerky actor, dad manager person, was having an affair with his mom. Now, she wasn't married, but he was. He was still married at this time. No, I'm sorry. Neither of them were married, so they weren't having an affair. They were in a relationship. But he was in a relationship with multiple women because he was a jerky actor man. And again, I read this on Google summaries and like websites, so if I'm not exactly accurate, I apologize. But the reason he started the fire was because his mom and her dad, did she get pregnant? I think she may have gotten pregnant, and he was like, meh, oh well, and like ditched her. And then she ended up having a miscarriage and like fell into this big depression, and then shortly thereafter found out she had cancer, and then the cancer killed her. And so he was like super pissy about it, and basically was like, oh, if it weren't for you, like if you had been supportive, maybe the stress wouldn't have caused her to lose the baby. Maybe she wouldn't have been in depression in the last, year or so of her life. And so he was like really, really angry, and he wanted to get back at the girl's dad. And so I don't remember what. I think he like lit the car on fire, lit the dad's car on fire, or like did something to try to like damage his car, and accidentally that led to a house fire, which is what caused the girl, Tara, I think is what I decided to call her today, caused her damage and ruined her career and ruined her life, etc. So like he was trying to avenge his mother by getting the dad's car damaged or whatever. It was like some big fancy car, and accidentally burned the whole house down and caused the girl. And so I guess he had like severe guilt and whatnot. Now, one thing I don't know, because again, I didn't finish it and I didn't see anything on the internet about it. If you read this book and please add some comments down below. Like, did you like it? Why did you like it? Were you surprised by the twist? And then also, if I'm going to have some questions about it, because again, I didn't read it, or if I'm not quite explaining the ending, add some comments and clarify. But I don't know, like when they first met up at that restaurant, did he know she was going to be there, or was it completely a surprise, like accidental situation where he was like, oh my gosh, it's her. This is my chance to like make amends because my stupid decision to get back at him caused like her life to be ruined. And now, this is fate helping me make things right. Or did he know that she was going to be there because he was like stalking her or stalking him or something, and went there specifically to meet her and try to help out with her life? I don't know. But he never actually wrote the book, and I guess there's something to do with the book he's writing. I don't know, maybe it's just because the book was a fib. Like, he actually is a writer and he does want to write a book, but I don't know, like, is the book that important? Again, if you know, put some comments down below. Is the book actually like an important thing? Like, does he write the book? Is the book relevant in some way, or was it just a thing, like an excuse he said for trying to hang out with her more and meet up? I don't know. But I don't know. When I was reading, I read maybe 50, 60 pages or so. And when I was reading, every time I put it down, I did not think about it again. It was not in my head. I wasn't curious or wondering like, oh, what's going to happen next? Or like trying to think about what's going on. nothing. And I never really was like, oh, I can't wait to pick it up again, or I'm gonna bring it with me while I go run errands today because I want to read it while I'm walking into the grocery store. Like, I never felt any of that or thought about it in any capacity when it wasn't in my hands. So clearly it did not catch me. But again, it's a romance, and I don't like romances. Like, oh, they were cute, they were making out, they like each other, they never met anybody like them, they're so beautiful. But like, ugh, I just not my thing. Nobody died. Well, non-essential characters died. Like, his mom died before the story, blah 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 blah. But it was boring. So I abandoned it. And I passed it on. And I am sorry if it is your favorite book. I've actually had people tell me that it is one of their favorite books ever. It's one of their favorite Colleen Hoover books. Like, cool. Good for you. I was bored. And I figured out pretty early that he was somehow connected. He caused the fire in some way. I didn't know if he did it on purpose or if it was an accident or if he, like, I wasn't sure about that. I had to read more. But I knew pretty early on Ben is the reason the fire happened, and he's like doing this in some capacity to make amends or help her or out of guilt. But I did recognize that they actually were legitimately falling in love. Like, at no point did I think, and again, if I'm wrong, please, and you read the book, please tell me down below. I think that their relationship was genuine, that he really did fall in love with her, and she really did fall in love with him, and it wasn't him pretending to care about her just so he could like make himself feel better. I think he genuinely does fall in love with her and her him. So I think that's why I think it's a romance book with a twist. I don't know. I should have read like the last chapter to see like how it really truly ended. I think that might have helped. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, I'm not gonna. I don't care. I read what it ends and I figured it out. I knew Ben had something to do with the fire. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I didn't like it. It was predictable. It was too romancy. It was too teeny bopper love. I don't know. Especially coming off of Verity. Like, I read Verity and it was spicy and it was adults and death and insane people and like mysterious and like people's lives were in danger at all times. And so like I read that and then I come to November 9th and I'm like, it's a couple of teenagers falling in love and they have secrets. Like, okay. So it did not pique my interest, and I'm sorry. If you liked it, cool. Add some comments down below about why you liked it and why I am wrong, in my humble opinion. I would love to hear why you liked it and what you thought. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. I got nothing else to say about the book. So how are you? I would give it, since it's my job to talk to you. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. It's not like the worst book I've ever read. It was just predictable and too romancy. It was well written. Like, I liked I guess I liked the characters for a little bit that I knew. It was interesting. They were a little cliche and cheesy and, rom-com-y, although there wasn't much comedy. It was cute. Again, if I was a teenager, if I was in high school or even college reading this, I would probably have loved it. But at this point, no, didn't like it. But it was well written. It was a cool concept. It jumped back and forth between the 2 characters. So some chapters were from the girl and some chapters were Ben. So it was neat to see the 2 different perspectives. And that's actually how I figured out that he's the one who did it, because like he kept making comments like, your scars are beautiful and don't let this one thing that happened like ruin your life. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, he had something to do with this, like whatever. I'm sure there are more secrets, because like, why did he get in a fist fight with her or with his brother? And I had no clue that the mom was involved, so I didn't read enough to get those hints. All I knew so far was that his mom had died of, I think, breast cancer, and that's why he lived with his brothers in this. He had this big house, so I'm sure there would have been more about that I would have figured out that mom had something to do with it. I think. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that's my take on November 9. What do you think? Add your comments below. I have a feeling I'm going to get some comments on this one from people who loved the book or it's almost rolled away. Loved the book or and have a different opinion about the book, or if anybody else didn't like it, let me know. I'm done. That was quick. I feel like this is one of my shorter videos, probably because I didn't finish the book and I didn't like the book. So yeah, this is my look. I don't have much going on today. I'm just running some errands, so I just did my basic eyeshadow look and a neutral lipstick because I have no reason to get super dolled up. So my next video, let me know what you think I should do with my makeup. I want to try something new. I want to do something maybe that I haven't tried before. Maybe my next video will just be a get ready with me and no book. I do have 2 books that I have recently finished that I can talk about still on my roster. I just started a 3rd book. It's going to be a while till I finish it. It's like 500 pages. So I do have a couple of things lined up to do books and looks videos on, but I don't know. I want some new ideas on makeup looks. So if you have any suggestions, you can find something online and comment with a link to a makeup look that you want me to try. I would love that. I think that would be super cool. I did find a really interesting eyeshadow look recently that I think I might want to try. So I don't know if I can talk about a book while I try a unique, never done before makeup look. So maybe I'll do that with my general get ready with me video that I want to do. So yeah, that's all I have to say today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are not mad at me for bashing November 9. And I hope you'll come back and watch other videos. But anyway, you know what? We're allowed to disagree. So live and let live, right? Well, that's all for today. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a fantastic everything. And as always, stay beautiful inside and out. Bye.